Right.
I just said a couple more things.
Sure.
I think equity is an important aspect of this, and I think it's certainly a huge aspect that would be nice to have some risk capital in there. But I also think we have to look at the whole financial system and think about how we can take risks throughout the financial system, whether it's working with banks in developing countries or international banks and thinking about how they might take a little bit more risk, thinking about distribution models and how those distribution models might change, finance distribution models, other distribution models. We've got to look at the whole financial system and then figure out where can we leverage risk capital, where can we put in risk capital, try things that sometimes might fail, but it's okay, it's worth the test, and then try different ways of doing it.
Well, can you talk, I actually, the first one, which is something that Sonal had mentioned, something along these lines, creating institutions to defray risk, a first loss guarantee model. I mean, that's an intriguing concept, right? I mean, one of the characteristics of a developed economy is that there are lots of instruments, financial and otherwise, that help risk to be defrayed, to be diversified, et cetera. Is that something that you can imagine, that we can create those sorts of institutions in developing countries easily, or is that a huge task?
I think it's truly possible. I know ICICI Bank in India is already looking at doing some of this. I think there are local institutions. I think there are international financial institutions. I know we've been talking to a few ourselves to figure out how we can partner with them in creating them. It just requires imagination and a willingness to go try something. And I think now there is more of an opportunity to think about that, and especially as people are seeing great interest in SMEs, great interest in investments in these funds. But while you can invest in some number of funds, you also need to figure out how to scale in different ways, and how can we get banks and others to take more of these risk models. And I think this morning the president announced a political risk insurance facility in Palestine, Palestinian territories. Those types of things help, but it requires investment too. It can't be just the risk facility. It's got to take investment. So we've got to do a bit of everything. It can't be just, the risk facility itself will be enough, or the investments itself will be enough. I think if we can, foundations like ourselves and others who are willing to put in some risk capital can do some more of that.